morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. Looking at the MACDs, the moving averages, the day's support, resistance and pivot levels and the Fibonacci's. It is Wednesday the 3rd of November. Looking at Bitcoin against the US dollar and the hourly candlesticks, mixed start to the day. Going to see Bitcoin avoid a fall through the pivot at 62,734 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 64,806. Support will be needed for Bitcoin to break out from 64,500 levels, so barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 65 to cap the upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Bitcoin target 68,000 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 66,364. Fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 61,176 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should stay clear of sub-60s. Second major support level sits at 59,104. Looking at the MACDs, we had a widening of the bearish histograms through the late part of yesterday and turn of the day, coming off the back of yesterday's late bearish cross. So keep an eye out for a further widening there. On the MAs, that's still a bullish signal, however, 50 pulling away from the 100 and the 200, suggesting further upside ahead. So key would be to avoid the pivot at 62,734, break through to 64,500 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Moving across Ethereum against the US dollar, bullish start to the day. Going to see Ethereum avoid the pivot at 4496 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 4704. Plenty of support from the broader market will be needed for Ethereum to break out from 4650 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, that first major resistance level should cap the upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Ethereum target 4900 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level is at 4813. Fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level 4387 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should still well clear sub 4200s. Second major support level 4178. Looking at the MACD's widening of the bullish histograms through the turn of the day, coming off the back of yesterday's late moves and this morning's gains, so that's bullish. On the EMAs, also bullish with the 50 pulling away from the 100 and the 200. So key would be to avoid the pivot at 4496, break through 4650 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Moving across to Litecoin against US dollars, bearish start to the day. Going to see Litecoin avoid a fallback through the pivot at 200 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 205. Support from the broader market will be needed to break out from yesterday's high, that was at 204.75. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap the upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Litecoin target 210s before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 210. Now just falling back through the pivot, so failure to move back through the pivot at 200 would bring the first major support level 196 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should avoid sub 190s. Second major support level 191 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACD's widening of the bearish histograms at the turn of the day, coming off the back of yesterday's late pullback and this morning's losses, so keep an eye out there. On the MAs, still a bullish signal, 50 continuing to pull away from the 100 and the 200, suggesting further upside ahead. So key, avoid a fallback through the pivot at 200, break through yesterday's high at 204.75 to then target 210s. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against US dollar, bullish start to the day. Going to see Ripple's XRP avoid the pivot at 1.1235 to take a run at first major resistance level at 1.16. Support from the broader market will be needed for Ripple's XRP to break out from yesterday's high at 1.14698. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap the upside. In the event of a breakout, should see Ripple's XRP target 1.2s before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 1.1834. Fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 1.1001 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should stay clear with a 38.2% fib at 1.0659 and the second major support level at 1.0637. Looking at the MACD's widening of the bullish histograms at the turn of the day, coming off the back of yesterday's late moves and this morning's gains, so that's bullish. EMA is also bullish with the 50 pulling away from the 100 and the 200. So key through the early part of the day would be to avoid the pivot at 1.1235 and break back through to 1.15 to bring resistance levels into play.